My name's Mounir Ibrahim, and I'm with Truepic, a technology company that's focused on image and data authenticity in the AI era. We're here at the end of the first day of the SCSP AI Expo in Washington. It's been really an incredible day, filled with magnificent panels that are really thought-provoking and amazing demos, everything from drone races to other types of ways you can actually test and look at AI. I had the great pleasure today to be joined with New York State Assemblymember Alex Borres, one of the most tech-forward and innovative members of the New York State Assembly, who's really thinking through what AI is going to mean for his constituents, for New York State, and no doubt for the country and the world. So, Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, what are your musings day one? First couple hours here, what's your impressions?
It's been a really exciting conference. There are a lot of conversations, both about how we can spread out the technology we already have and make better use of it, but also some innovations and things that are coming. And this is what I love to see, is this combination of government, of technology, of companies, where we can all work together to create new things that really help people. And there have been a lot of conversations here, both of things that I'm going to be rooting for from the sidelines, but also a few things I'm going to take back and maybe we could use in government.
Absolutely. And I no doubt that's what SCSP and all of us are hoping to actually see happen. Okay, first question for you. We're going to do 5 quick questions and really get your thoughts on a variety of topics here, but really focusing in on image authenticity today. This picks up from a panel that you and I and a few others had the pleasure of being on this morning. How concerned are you about AI and its impact for our government, for our businesses, for our constituents, our people, uh, with regard to deciphering what is authentic and what is synthetic in decision making across all those areas?
And Stephen Covey has a famous thing about moving at the speed of trust, that it's only what you can trust. If an organization can trust each other, then you can move fast. That applies to society writ large. And one of the things that's so threatening about really realistic synthetic content is not only that it'll confuse people and you might be misled, but also you stop trusting the things that you trusted before. And it just slows down our ability to collaborate on anything. So whether that's just having conversations about what is true, whether that's when we look at elections, whether that's government functioning or business functioning and fraud that happens there, making sure that what we believe to be true is fundamental to our ability to do anything quickly.
And picking up on that, one of the areas that Truepic really focuses on is helping businesses and enterprises decipher what is authentic from synthetic. Because what we see is that businesses have digitized nearly all of their operations. And if you are relying on digital content and you don't know if it is authentic, therein lies inherent problems. A recent report highlighted that up to 12% of applications for government and potentially commercial loans are operated through fraudulent networks abroad, impersonating businesses and individuals. From this angle, I know so many legislators are really thinking about, threats to democracy and society, which undoubtedly are critical problems we must address. But from that business angle, is this something you're thinking about? How concerned are you of that?
Absolutely. Fraud at a level of 2% or up to 12%, as that report pointed out, would decimate businesses, the existing businesses. It would also stop people from creating new ones. And we are really focused in New York on growing our economy, on the challenges of affordability and of employment and of making sure that everyone is engaged in the economy. When you have 12% fraud rates, as this report pointed out, I mean, that would be devastating to economic growth. And so it's definitely something that we're taking into account and finding ways that we can both promote standards that would help people eliminate that risk, but also resources that we can provide to small businesses to help them grow. The big businesses will figure this out. They have the resources to do this. You want to make sure that every business can deal with this fraud challenge, and that requires having standards and having applications and having services that work for everyone.
Yeah, 100%. And I absolutely agree with you. Drilling down a little bit to kind of the specifics of of New York State, and I guess it could be extrapolated to any city, state, or even federal government, what industries do you think are potentially most at risk from being defrauded with synthetic or deceptive digital content? Which ones first come to mind if I were to ask you that?
Well, I think I would have given a different answer before the panel this morning, but the example you brought up in the panel of auto warranties and how you can reduce insurance risks, insurance fraud, and insurance risk, and insurance fraud is a tax on everyone. We see insurance rates going up a massive amount. If we can reduce fraud, and we can also validate real claims faster, so that people can get access to the money that is rightfully theirs, that's a big change for consumers that they will feel in their pocketbook. So in terms of industry, I think insurance is a big one. I sit on the insurance committee in New York, so this is definitely something to lean into. Also, from the legislature, I think a lot about elections. So when you think about government, one of the big threats that we are worried about are fake images, fake video, fake recordings. We've already seen this in New York. There was a fake recording of our county leader denigrating a sitting assembly member that was completely made up, but went viral for a few days. We've seen it affect elections in other countries. We saw a Slovakia election that was probably shifted on a deep fake that was released close to election day. So that is top of mind for something that government has to get right and fix for ourselves.
Yeah, great points. I didn't know that about that New York's official. On the flip side, AI is not all bad, and there's definitely opportunities to leverage it. What are some of the industries you think that the state, the city of New York, other states, federal government could actually leverage AI to deliver better services, better capacity in government, et cetera?
This is a message I'm telling my colleagues all the time about how much is out there that we could be doing better. When I was elected in 2022, I became the first Democrat elected in New York State at any level with a degree in computer science.
That's crazy.
And I spent my career in tech beforehand, much of it government technology. It was building systems to make government more effective and more efficient. And so what my mind jumps to is places where right now we have extremely manual processes that if we could validate things quicker, we could speed up. So that's everything from getting people access to food stamps to validating business applications and speed up starting a new small business. That's getting relief out to people. The last thing I did before I ran for office was helping distribute COVID relief, whether that was rental relief or utilities. And you need to validate that the person's actually in need. You need to validate they have those bills. But what we found was the bigger problem was not necessarily people faking it, but it was that we had so many steps to validate that a lot of people that deserved relief couldn't get it. It was such a manual process. It took so much time. You needed so much documentation. You needed to come in person in certain places that the people government were trying to help couldn't get access to it. And so having technology that makes it easier to validate images and sound and video means not only reducing fraud and saving taxpayers a bunch of money on that side, but also making it easier for the people that really do need help or really want to start a business or really need that aspect from government can get that more efficiently and more quickly.
It's so critical. I know you're short on time and you're incredibly busy and you're heading back up to New York. So we can close that on with one more question. Thank you for your generous time today. What are some of the things that government can do to spur innovation in AI, in image authenticity, and data authenticity, while also promoting safeguards? But here's the trick. Don't omit just writing new laws.
Right.
I'm curious to know, what are some of the tangible things other than lawmaking? And I know your primary job is to be a lawmaker, but that government can do to really push the ball forward.
There's a few things. Aside from lawmaking, we can think about how we use technology ourselves. So government sets an example. And one of the things that I'm encouraging government to use C2PA or similar standards anytime that they are producing media. And that starts to create demand for it. That starts to get people used to it. I think that's a really good thing for us to do. Also, technical training and services. So we do a lot of outreach to small businesses. We do a lot of outreach to local government. The more that we can think about how we can teach people about what is out there, especially these free open standards, government can do a lot there. And then we think about the budget. We think about how we spend our own money. So one of the things that New York has been quite forward looking in is AI. And we last year in the budget got We put 400 million total, along with some private investment included in there, towards buying GPUs to create a compute cluster for our universities to do more research in AI and spur that forward. And we as government should be investing in the technologies and the industries of the future. We want that built here. And I think I'm excited to see government do that more and more.
Amazing. Truly, thank you so much for your time. We are really looking forward to the initiatives you're going to be putting forward in New York. As a constituent of yours and a proud New Yorker, thank you for all the effort and the thought that you're putting into this, because this truly is going to be the future of what not only New York faces, but every state, the federal, the whole country, the federal government, and candidly every nation. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for what you're doing to make this technology more accessible for people and easier to roll out. I think it's really exciting to see.
Thank you.